welcome back to Wind Down with Books with your girl Kay. As you can see by the title, we're ending off Black History Month with the book Black Book. Let's take a minute to admire the cover. Beautiful art. But before we get into any book review, I have to have my glass of wine. Today I'm drinking a red wine by Rashi. It's a sweet red wine, one of my favorite wines of all time. I don't know why. But it's so good, guys. So go ahead and try that out. So this book evoked so much emotions out of me. Like, I was angry, I was pissed, I was happy, I was disgusted. The list goes on. But first and foremost, I should let you know this book is a satire. So if you're not into like satire books, then it kind of may or may not go over your head. But I think the way the author wrote the book, sorry guys, phenomenal. Like, I loved it, the way he wrote the book. It was just, it's a piece of art, I should say. So we'll start off with a synopsis of the book. The book follows Darren Vender. He's a young African-American male. He's in his early 20s. I think he's like 21, if I'm not mistaken. Correct me if I'm wrong. Drop a comment, let me know. He graduated the Bronx Science Academy as valedictorian. He's smart, he's well-educated, he's well-liked, well-mannered. But after he graduates high school, he chooses to work in Starbucks instead of pursuing college, pursuing a career like his peers did. And at that point, he's content with working at Starbucks. He likes it. He names himself the HNIC. It's the head bleep and in charge. I don't want to say the word. And he's happy. He has a good team who he works with, who does what they need to do. He loves it. But his life turns upside down the minute he meets Rhett. Rhett is a Caucasian male. He works for the company Sumve. I can't pronounce it. Don't judge me, guys. It's SUMVUE. And one day, Rhett comes into Starbucks. Darren decides that, he's going to get Rhett to change his order. And that's when his life turns upside down. I'm going to explain throughout the video why my emotions were all over the place with this book. It was just a lot to take in. I would say that. So I was happy in the beginning because I was happy to know that Darren had a good support system. His mom loved him. His girlfriend loved him. He had good friends. Then everyone in the neighborhood loved him. He was just so well-mannered, so respectful, and happy. I was happy in the end. In the way that he was able to recognize that he lost himself and was able to understand like what it would take for him to be free again. So for the most part, Darren is like, all right, I know that people my entire life has been telling me that I'm destined for bigger things, I'm destined to do bigger things, but for some reason he couldn't figure out what that was, or I think that he was just scared of the unknown. And his family, his friends continued to push him like, leave Starbucks, go get a career, like, do something, like you're wasting your talents. And he truly was. And not for nothing, a lot of people, whether you're a person of color, Caucasian, whether your ethnicity is Caribbean, European, etc., where I'm going with this, feel like, they have talents and skills, but they're scared to take that step. And that was Darren in the book. So once Darren took the step, that Rhett offered him a job, he was all in. He wanted to see where it could go. And this is what made me mad. So from the time Darren started working at Starbucks, his family and his friends was pushing him to see himself in a bigger light and to leave Starbucks and do more with his life. But the minute, Rhett comes into the picture, and obviously Rhett is Caucasian, Darren all of a sudden sees his full potential and he sees that he has to prove himself. And I'm just like, Darren, like, why didn't you listen to people who knew you, like your whole life, who understand you? But the minute this stranger comes walking in, all of a sudden you want to pursue your true self and you want to do more for yourself. That's part I didn't really like, cause but it's common for us people, individuals, I'm guilty of it, to not listen to our friends and family advice, and once a stranger come along, you want to do better for yourself. It's common. It just kind of made me mad. I'm like, damn, like, it made me think like, yo, we really don't listen to our people. Like, we really don't listen to our family, our friends. So for the most part, I'm going to go into, let's see here. We're going to when Rhett met Clyde. So not Rhett met Clyde, when Darren met Clyde. So Clyde works in the company as well. Clyde is, I forgot the title, but he's one of the head people. Clyde is a Caucasian male. So the minute Darren and Clyde meet, I had the sense as I was reading the book that Clyde was intimidated by Darren. Mind you, as Darren walked into the office of the company, I can't pronounce the name, guys, he was the only African American male in the office, and the atmosphere was chaotic. So imagine being a person of color walking into a predominantly white agency office. You're terrified, it's unknown, you don't have one to relate to, and you start thinking. So it's already, you on guard already. You're already on guard. And it's sad to say, like, there's some people in this world who have to experience that, who have experienced that, and it's not uncommon for that to occur. So Darren realizes he's the only African American male. He honestly starts to get on guard. So throughout the whole process, he meets Clyde. Clyde interviews him, and Clyde is just full on force racist. Clyde's character was disgusting, inhumane. Like, it reminded me a lot of the dudes who I went to undergrad with. It was just truly disgusting. So Clyde, for the most part, was trying to evoke a negative reaction out of Darren the whole interview. Like, he wanted to call him the N-word. He named him Buck. He was disregarding his name, his nature. Like, he was so rude. And it was pouring out of his pores. And I'm just like, wondering, like, how many people have to go through that? Like, is it a joke? Like, it's not okay. It was just evoking some strong emotions out of me, and at one point I wanted to throw the book. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to throw the book. But Darren understanding, like, he's trying to evoke these emotions out of me. He's trying to make me, succumb to the negative stereotypes of African American males, and he's not going to give him a satisfaction. And I praise him for that, because oftentimes people try to evoke these stereotypes out of people of color, and it's just like, you have to control yourself. Like, you have to be able to be like, all right, I know what you're doing, I see what you're doing, but I'm not going to let you win. And that's what Darren was doing in the beginning. In the beginning, he was doing until Darren lost himself. So Darren, at that moment, Darren knew, is like, we know Clyde's an asshole. I know Clyde's an asshole, but he's not going to push me out so easily. I'm going to fight. And that's what he wants to do. And I enjoyed it. I'm like, yeah, I was cheering for them. I'm like, yeah, fight him. Don't let him get the best of you. He ain't shit. Prove him wrong. I was rooting for them. I was rooting for Darren. Until Darren began to, like, lose his soul. I feel like it started when Darren decided to save the company from going under. There was an incident where one of the assistants lured an African-American female to China, where he killed her, and the company was all over, was going under, and Darren decided that, I'm going to save the company. And I'm also going to defend Rhett. So, when I was reading, I was so pissed off. I was pissed off because I'm like, Darren, what are you doing? After all the humiliation that you went through, the negative remarks, the emotional, the mental abuse that you were put through by Clyde, you're going to be like, I'm going to save the company for what? And for who? And the who was Rhett. He basically was like, I'm going to do this because Rhett gave me an opportunity when no one was willing to. Rhett helped me become the dude that I am. He saved me. I owe Rhett. In my head, I'm like, Dad, you don't owe anybody nothing. Why are you saving the company? Move on. All his family and friends were telling him to do that. And they started seeing a change slowly. And it was just, that's when he was gone. That Darren was gone. And I feel like, I can't be too mad at Darren, because how many people have to go through that on a daily basis? When you start a new job, I'll start with this. When a person of color starts a new job, it's not all the time, but it does happen. I'm sure it happens, right? They may feel like they have to going to another persona, or what we call code switching to appease to the people that they're working with. It may be because of the stress of the job. They need to keep the job. They need to keep the people that they're working with happy, and they want to banish any negative stereotype of African American, or person of color. And I'm pretty sure that a lot of people have had to go through that. I'm guilty. I've had to code switch several times. And it's not fun. Ultimately, you becoming someone else other than yourself. And the more you do it, the more you begin to lose yourself. And Darren had truly gone downhill. Like, he was disrespectful to his mom. He was disrespectful to his girlfriend, the people in the community. Him and his best friend relationship was done. Darren stopped talking to him. Darren called him jealous. For the most part, in the book, I do think Darren's best friend Jason was a little jealous of his success, and I think that's only because, as Darren started to climb the top, he started working for Caucasian people. He forgot where he come from. He forgot where he grew up, who helped him, who was there for him, and I could see how that could hurt somebody, because that would hurt me. I'm being there for someone, and you just push me onto the side. Nah. But on the other flip side, I see that, Jason was jealous that he wasn't in a position of Darren. Like, Darren was smart, intellectual. He had stuff going on for him, while Jason is stuck back in the hood trying to help his mother pay the rent, pay the other household bills, where his next meal is going to come from. And with that, jealousy can arise, regardless if it's a friend or family member. So I understood both sides, and it was truly heartbreaking. And the more Darren began to sell his soul, the more he pushed away those who loved him. This is an example. So Darren, in the beginning, never liked alcohol. He never liked how alcohol made him feel. When he started working at the job, they forced him to drink beer. He went out drunk. He started drinking. He started doing drugs. He started becoming an asshole. He started having sex with multiple females. And it was not him. It was a completely different Darren. He was an asshole. He was ignorant. He just wasn't that sweet dude. He became cold-hearted. He didn't care about anything or anyone but himself. And things started going downhill also when he lost his mom. When he lost his mom, he definitely didn't care about no one else, and it was truly heartbreaking. When his mom died and she left him that letter, I cried. I was bawling my eyes out. I cried because, one, the mom died. I was sad, and I was so angry at Darren. Like, I know he's a character, guys. I know he's a character, but I'm like your anger stopped you from really truly seeing the point that your mother's trying to make before she died. She was only trying to protect you, and you did her dirty, and that really hurt. Reading that part, I told you I'll be feeling the character's emotions. So Darren started realizing, his life was what his life was once he met Brian. Well, he met Brian when him and Brian was working together. I'm tongue-tied. He started to help Brian see another way of life, to help him, come on his shell, become confident, so he could maneuver the world of sales. And as he started helping Brian, he started helping another group of African Americans, and they formed the group Happy Campers. So this is where, Darren starts to truly shed that persona that he had to build when he was working with Red and Clyde and becoming that asshole. He was truly coming back to himself again. So he started helping them, and they formed the group Happy Campers. So Happy Campers is a group of African American people of color, who are going to dominate the world of sales by coming together and banding together. And I thought that was so beautiful. I thought that was a way for redemption for Darren, and I loved every minute of it. Them coming together, because nowadays I wish that, in the world that we live now, a lot of people of color to come together to truly, help one another. But we living in different times, guys. But in the book, they formed a group, and the people of color learn how to sell. They learn how to talk, confidence. Darren helped them truly build themselves. up. They dominated. They entered the workforce. He was able to help them get good paying jobs. He's even able to help his best friend Jason get a job, and he was happy. And I thought that was a beautiful sight to see until it threatened the workforce as far as the predominantly white. So once it got wind that Happy Campers was a group of people of color, they started calling them terrorists. They started saying it's an attack on white America. This is not fair. They trying to take our jobs. So in return, Clyde started the White United Sales. I think I wrote it down, but I'm not too sure. It was like WUSS, White United Sales People, something like that. And honestly speaking, when that group was formed, it automatically triggered me to think of Black Lives Matter. When Black Lives Matter formed, if you don't know, Black Lives Matter formed was a form of protest against police brutality and the injustice and inhumane treatment of African American people. And then in response to Black Lives Matter, you had All Lives Matter, and that automatically it's like kind of the same thing. And I'm like, the minute someone who's not a person of color, non-person of color, feels threatened, is automatically, they feel attacked. When they feel attacked, they're so vindictive. And you saw Clyde went through every measure to try to take Darren down, try to take Happy Campers down, and that was the response. So I wrote something down here. Let me see. Sorry. So I said once the Happy Campers group was formed, white individuals grouped together by answering back to form the White United Society of Salesperson. I also wrote that depending on the incident, no matter what the situation may be or the attention may be, it's so hard for people of color to come together in one way to disinvolve, to truly make a difference, because there's always a barrier put in place. There's always going to be someone outside of a person of color who wants to hold a group or individual back, and that is true. It's not true in every instant, but it is true. And I was so happy that the Happy Campus was formed, and in response to all right, we understand that the sales is a predominantly white area, but we're gonna infiltrate. We're gonna teach these people of color to sell, and we're gonna bring them to their full potential. In the end, it's sad that Darren had to pay the price. He ended up going to jail, not because of the Happy Campers, but because he was trying to save his friend Jason. Although Jason was able to get a good job, he couldn't shake he was dealing drugs, and he couldn't shake that habit. He still needed to help his mom, so he ended up selling to Clyde, which Clyde set Darren up, and Darren went to jail. But in the end, Darren was able to find his soul, and he did that by helping people of color. He did that by showing the world, we are not a terrorist group. The reason why this group was formed, because you ever felt unwanted, you ever felt invisible, you ever wanted more, but the barriers is holding you back. This is why the group was formed, and he was able to get his point across and help so many, and they end up spreading Happy Campers across geographics, across the America, the 50 states. It went global, and I was happy to see. In the end, I was happy with the book. But again, throughout the book, my emotions was just all over the place. And I'm glad I read the book. If you haven't read the book, please do. It's a phenomenal book. This is what the book looks like. Let me know if you did read the book, what you thought about the book. Drop a comment in the comment section to let me know. If you like this video, like, share, subscribe. Follow me on my Instagram page, Wine Down with Books. I thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you was drinking your wine during the video. And until next time, guys, this is Wine Down with Books with your girl Kay. See you next video. Guys, I had to come back. I have one more thing to say. The message that I took from the book is that if you give black people the tools, they will be able to use those tools to fulfill your dreams. So let that resonate with you, and if somebody needs to hear that, let them know. But as long as you have the tools, you'll be able to do and accomplish anything that you want to. And with that, I'm out.